secrets that will ruin your childhood. Quick disclaimer, if you don't want your childhood to be ruined, or you're still in your childhood, I recommend don't watch this video. But now that I said that, I know all of you guys are intrigued and you'll want to figure out what I'm talking about. So let's get right on in. All right, first off, we have the Rugrats, right? That's what these guys are called. What other shows are in here? Drake and Josh. Okay, I watched that. Okay, SpongeBob. iCarly. SpongeBob again. Okay, just some, like, Rugrats, I honestly don't even remember watching Rugrats that much. But things like SpongeBob, iCarly, yes, like 100% I remember watching those things like every single day. Okay, here we go.
Last thing she wrote it was a poem for you.
On Rugrats, it took years before Chucky's real mom was finally revealed in a Mother's Day special. She died when Chucky was barely a newborn, but one theory states that she may not have been his mom in the first place. The theory proposes that Dee Dee Pickles is Chucky's actual mom. They have similar looks. No, Chucky's dad gets along great with Dee Dee, and Chucky spends an awful lot of time hanging out at the Pickles household. Maybe Stu shouldn't have spent so much time in the basement tinkering with his toys. Tommy and Chucky's friendship could grow even stronger if the two knew they were related.
Oh, Mrs. Pickle. Just kidding, guys. The reason I'm acting like that, like surprised, is because I don't even know who Mrs. Pickle is. Like, that's one show I honestly have no clue what it's about. Like, I know Rugrats. I remember watching, like, I know the guys, but like, I don't know what it's about. So I guess I didn't really watch it. And again, this one, like, I'm sure you guys all know who this is. Well, maybe not, but like, I forget what it's about. Like, isn't this like Blue's Clues? Like, we just got a letter, wonder who it's from, right? Or no?
For a preschool show like Blue's Clues, there sure are a lot of theories about.
This was from 1996 to 2006, so maybe some of you guys haven't watched this. Because I was born in 2003, so I would have been 3 when it ended, but I still know who it is, so I don't know.
Characters and plot. No, we're not talking about the birth of Paprika, but rather Steve's role on the show. He constantly talks to a group of kids, sings songs, and plays silly games. One theory states Steve's house is actually a daycare, and each episode is him simply taking care of the children. This explains why Steve acts the way he does and how he doesn't figure out Blue's Clues so much faster. Obviously, the gig didn't pay enough, as Joe came in and took over after a few seasons.
Oh, that must be our 4 o'clock massage.
I forget what it's about though. Drake and Josh. What's Drake and Josh about? It's about Drake and Josh. And I know, like, Miranda Cosgrove, iCarly, is their sister. I know that. But what's it about? It's just about, like, Drake and Josh, brothers, right? I don't know.
The live-action format of Drake and Josh was loved by fans and led to many questions. In the opening of each episode, the characters talk to the camera and basically narrate their feelings. Many fans have come to the conclusion that Drake and Josh is a reality show set in the Nick universe. Many other characters on Nick shows like iCarly and Victorious have watched Drake and Josh episodes within their worlds. And some of the same characters have also appeared in those shows, making them exist in the world. The reality show offers a real-life perspective of mixed families and the journey 2 young teens must go through.
Okay, that's not bad, that's not bad. They're like the Kim Kardashians of Nickelodeon. Alright, SpongeBob. This was my... Actually, it's hard. It's between SpongeBob and iCarly. There's another iCarly one, I believe. SpongeBob had to be in my favorite show. iCarly probably second. I don't know.
Filled with all kinds of theories and mixed messages.
I'm in HD.
But do they involve the 7 deadly sins? Many fans have assigned a deadly sin to each character on the show. Naturally, Mr. Krabs represents greed.
Money!
You got money, right?
Patrick represents sloth, and Sandy represents pride. This leaves wrath for Squidward.
Let me guess, Tiny, a small salad.
Lust for SpongeBob, gluttony for Gary, and envy for Plankton.
Better cough up that secret formula or else!
Whether the creators intended this or not, each role fits the character perfectly and often ends up being some of their biggest flaws while going on adventures.
What about Pearl? They thought they would get away with it. I don't know. Like, I guess those 7 are like the main characters. Like, Pearl is like she's not in every episode. The other guys are like pretty much in every episode, so I guess.
Pictures! Here's baby Freddy in the bathtub.
One of the biggest mysteries iCarly never answered was who the father of Freddie Benson actually was. A bizarre fan theory points out his father may be none other than a bee.
What?
Barry Benson, to be exact. The animated bee played the starring role in Bee Movie, and he finds a connection with a human woman who looks eerily similar to Mrs. Benson. The theory became so popular that actor Nathan Kress tweeted about it and jokingly confirmed the theory was true.
Oh yeah, his dad's a bee, alright. Now iCarly, guys, I don't know if I feel like I might have said this in a different video, but on the last ever episode of iCarly, like the season finale before they stopped the show, I literally cried. Like, I loved iCarly. It's so sad thinking about that stuff. SpongeBob never came to an end when I was watching it. I stopped watching it before it came to an end. SpongeBob's still going, isn't it? I don't even know. But iCarly, something about iCarly is like, it's not a cartoon, it's like the real people. And like in the show, they were sad and it's gonna make me emotional. SpongeBob again. Rock! song used to be my favorite song. No joke. I have a CD. Okay, well, I don't have it here. It's probably at my parents' house. We might not even have it because this was so long ago. I had a SpongeBob CD with like SpongeBob soundtracks, and that was my favorite song. I would listen to that one on repeat. I'm a goofy goober. Rock, bow, 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 bow.
Formula for success hasn't changed much over the years, but his maturity has sure gone downhill. Fans mark the release of the SpongeBob SquarePants movie and 5th season premiere as 2 points where SpongeBob's actions shifted into a more childish tone. The theory? SpongeBob died and was reborn. The moment happened on the big screen when SpongeBob dries out on the beachside souvenir shop. The reborn SpongeBob is naturally more immature as he learns to grow and accept his new identity.
I don't know about that one.
Sorry, my lad.
Who's this guy?
To scare you.
The core of Are You Afraid of the Dark revolved around
Yeah,
the
see,
Midnight Society.
1990 to 2000, that's 3 years before I was born. I don't know if I've ever heard of this, but let's hear.
Of teens who told tales of terror each night. But where did these kids come from? They rarely talked about their personal lives outside of the group, and one theory states that they're all actually dead and ghosts themselves. The Midnight Society is actually a state of limbo. The characters who left the group have finally crossed over to the other side.
Huh? I don't know about that show, but well, you know what that reminds me of? What's it called? Something's Goosebumps. What's that guy's name? Oh, it's making me mad. I have to search it up. Goosebumps book. Yeah, these, like the books. And they made a movie series, or not a movie series, like a TV show on it. Anyway, I don't know, it reminds me of it. And some of those would scare me so much. Like, I remember, I don't think I'd watch these unless like my mom or dad was like in the living room with me. And I remember every single time Goosebumps was on, it was like close to my bedtime. And I'm pretty sure Goosebumps, they would always have another episode right after my bedtime. And sometimes I would sneak it. Not sneak it, like I would watch it, my parents wouldn't know that it was past my bedtime, and yeah.
Deep breath and be
This was another good show.
Butch Hartman is known for creating Nicktoons like The Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom. Not only are the animation styles the same between both shows, but the characters are eerily similar and have led to many fan theories. One of these theories is that Danny Phantom is a grown-up version of Timmy Turner. After using the power of the fairies, Timmy goes under the assumed name of Danny and has the ability to connect to both the real world and ghost dimension. The similar looks, hairstyles, and actions of the characters really help connect the two shows.
I actually already knew about that one. Sorry, guys. On my Luke Davidson Facts channel, I did some research for a video like that, and I explained that theory. But if they're made by the same person, I guess you could say that, yes, maybe he was thinking about that. They could be the same person. Or because it's made by the same person, he just had similar designs in the characters, you know?
And everyone here
And what is
tonight
this
gets a
show?
free cell phone.
Amanda Bynes.
On The Amanda Show, Amanda Bynes was constantly stalked by a crazy...
I feel like lots of you, maybe not, I don't know. I've watched these shows, but I've never watched this show, so we're gonna skip it again.
SpongeBob's biggest mystery still remains after so many years. What is inside a Krabby Patty? Well, according to several
It's
theories,
Mr. Krab.
the ingredient is actually crab
yes.
itself. That's
And you
right,
know why?
Mr. Krabs kills his own kind to make profits and craft the most delicious patty
But you know, there's one thing, you see this? Watch. I actually did research on this one too for another TikTok. Crab trap. Look at this, guys. Yeah, see, here it is. This is what a crab trap looks like, and this is the Krusty Krab. It's the same thing. So this theory is actually probably one of the best theories there is.
Theory stems from the name of the restaurant. There's Burger King, Taco Bell, and Dairy Queen, all with food in the title. It would make sense that the Krusty Krab would actually include crab on the menu. You're welcome.
Or it could be because a crab owns the restaurant. But no, that one's actually a good one. There's crab in the patties, and that's why they're so good. And that's why Mr. Krabs hides the secret formula. And that's also why the Krusty Krab is shaped as a crab trap. It makes sense. That would make sense.
There's a Texan squirrel who decided to spend her life researching underwater. How did it all occur? Well, one theory places the blame on nuclear radiation.
Oh, I know
Many
this
of
one
the
too.
buildings are said to be shells of nuclear bombs, and the bombs have mutated the fish and other sea creatures to form the characters we know and love. How else would you explain a clarinet-loving octopus?
I guess. See, here, the theory is the place that it's called. Here, I did research on this one for, again, another TikTok, so I know everything about this one. Bikini Bottom is what it's called, right? But if you search up Bikini Atoll is a coral reef in the Martian Islands, which makes sense, right? Bikini Bottom is coral, kinda. That's where the fish are. And on this place, look, this is where they did nuclear testing. See, big bombs. And they think from the nuclear bombs, the radiation from it caused the fish to mutate into speaking fish and whatever else they are. And like the buildings, oh, I actually forget the buildings part of it. Let me search up. What do Bikini Bottom buildings look like? Well, this just says metal of various sizes, which yeah, it does. But I swear there was like another, I guess from like the shells of like the bomb dropped metal, and that's what their houses are. But I thought there was like a deeper meaning to like they look exactly like something. Maybe not, but that's another interesting theory, guys. Some of these theories though, I don't know about, but the SpongeBob ones are pretty good.
Connecting shows is a great way to build theories, and one far-reaching theory helps connect the world of iCarly to Drake and Josh. On Drake and Josh, the character Crazy Steve worked at the local movie theater. He was played by Jeremy Trainor, the same actor who played Spencer on iCarly. The theory states that Crazy Steve and Spencer are the same character. Steve kidnapped Drake and Josh's younger sister Megan, took her to Seattle, and brainwashed her to think she was actually named Carly and living in an apartment with her brother. Process the theory for a minute. It actually makes a lot of sense.
I guess.
Shakespeare, Scottish
Jimmy
Kings,
Neutron.
and downloaded the Keanu Reeves Advanced Acting Course.
Jimmy Neutron was a certified genius with the ability to invent robots, explore space, and create all kinds of useful inventions.
Jimmy Neutron. I never watched Jimmy Neutron at home, but when I was at daycare, Jimmy Neutron was always on. That's one thing I remember. I don't know why.
Retroville mostly ignored his special abilities or shrugged them off as child's play. A theory related to the town of Retroville involves a large government cover-up. Jimmy Neutron lives in a Truman Show type of situation involving the government tracking Jimmy's every move and using his inventions to their advantage. By making Jimmy feel like he's living a normal childhood, he continues to grow and invent new things.
And the last one just hurt my brain. There's too much thinking, like, the government is making him invent these things and they use it, I guess. I don't know.
If you haven't watched Nickelodeon in a long time, the next time you tune in, everything may feel a little similar. No, it's not another repeat. One theory states Nick went through a big remake stage to try and relaunch some of their shows that were a little less popular back in the day. For example, the old show Brothers Garcia was remade into Ricky, Dicky, Nicky, and Don. The show Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide was remade into 100 Things to Do Before High School. And then there's the show Marvin, a show very similar to the journey of Alan Strange. The stories and characters in each of the show counterparts are nearly identical to each other.
It's hurting my head, man. Half those shows I don't even know what it is, what they are about. What is Ricky, Dicky, and Nikki?
Clarissa Explains It All ended far earlier than it should have. Of course, the show wouldn't have lasted long enough to show Clarissa have children, but a theory quickly spread over the internet connecting Clarissa to the show Ned's Declassified. According to rumors, Ned was actually the child of Sam and Clarissa and even mentioned them by name. Unfortunately, the theory was debunked when the scenes and episodes mentioned in the theory didn't even exist. Fortunately, Sabrina is due to make her big return to TV, and we'll get some real answers about her future.
Let's go, because I know exactly who she is.
I'm not crazy!
Danny Phantom's whole premise is pretty crazy, even for a cartoon. He's a superhero who battles ghosts and supernatural creatures across multiple dimensions. But is it all real? A theory about the show states that everything after the pilot actually didn't happen. Danny fell into a coma, and everything that happens with his superhero adventures is actually all just part of his dreamlike coma state. The all-a-dream theories are done for many shows, but this one is more convincing than others.
You know, that would make sense, even though I don't know if I've ever even watched Danny Phantom. I know who Danny Phantom is, because, like, I just do, but I don't know if I've actually ever watched, like, sat down and watched, like, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know? Maybe I've watched, like, half of episode 20. I don't know.
We should get a second opinion.
The world of the Rugrats includes multiple seasons, feature films, and spin-off shows like All Grown Up. With so much content, there are bound to be a ton of theories, and many have spread around over the years. One of the most popular theories involves the existence of the Rugrats altogether. The dark theory states that all of the babies are actually dead, and the only way for Angelica to cope is by imagining the babies are all still alive. The deaths of the babies are pretty sad as well, and involve stillbirths, car accidents, and miscarriages, among others. Thankfully, All Grown Up pretty much debunks the theory and showcases how the Rugrats are all alive and well.
These people are thinking too hard about these theories. Yeah, if there's a second show showing them all grown up, how could you even come up with that theory? Or I guess they probably came up with the theory before the show was released. Maybe? I don't know. Okay, we got one more.
Establishment. Everything's gonna be just fine.
Wow, well there you
No,
have it.
I wanted another SpongeBob one. Okay, well that was pretty interesting. Some of them, like the Bikini Bottom ones, those ones are very interesting to me. But some of them are just so confusing. Like, what's an example? Freddy's dad is a bee? Anyway, that's gonna be for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to slap that like button, subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.